The pregnancy test landed on the kitchen table between us like a grenade. Sarah's mascara ran in black rivers down her cheeks, her hands trembling as she pushed the white stick toward me. "I'm pregnant," she whispered. Those two words should have filled me with joy. We'd been married for 3 years, talking about starting a family someday. But the confession that came before those words had shattered everything. "I slept with someone else, Marcus. I'm so sorry. It was a mistake, a terrible, stupid mistake." My world tilted on its axis. The woman I'd loved since college, the woman I'd built my entire life around, had betrayed me. My throat constricted, making it hard to breathe. The walls of our small apartment seemed to close in around me. "How long?" My voice came out strangled, barely recognizable. "It was just once. 2 months ago. That conference in Boston." Fresh tears spilled down her face. I was drunk and he was. It doesn't matter. There's no excuse. I hate myself, Marcus. I hate what I've done to us 2 months ago. While I'd been home working overtime to save for the house she wanted, she'd been in another man's bed. The betrayal cut deeper than any physical wound could. I looked at the pregnancy test, those 2 pink lines that should have represented hope and future. Now they were a question mark, a symbol of uncertainty and pain. Is it mine? The question tasted like poison in my mouth. Sarah's face crumpled. She reached for the test, her fingers closing around it. I don't know. I honestly don't know. Something broke inside me then. A sound escaped my throat, half sob, half roar. I stood so abruptly that my chair crashed backward. "You don't know? You don't know?" My voice echoed off the walls. "Marcus, please, how could you do this to us?" I grabbed my jacket from the back of the couch, needing to get out, needing air, needing anything but to be in that room with her. Sarah jumped up, grabbing my arm. "Wait, please, just wait. We can figure this out. We can get a paternity test. We can... It doesn't matter whose it is." She suddenly ripped the test in half, the plastic snapping between her fingers. Pieces fluttered to the floor like confetti at the world's saddest celebration. "You deserve better than this. Better than me. Better than this whole mess." I stared at her, at the torn pieces of the test, at the ruins of our life together. "You're right. I do deserve better. Marcus, I'm done, Sarah. We're done." I walked toward the door, each step feeling like I was wading through concrete. Behind me, Sarah's sobs grew louder, more desperate. "Please don't leave. I love you. I'll do anything, Marcus, please." My hand touched the doorknob. For a moment, I hesitated. 3 years of marriage, 5 years together total. Could I really walk away from all of it? Then I thought of her in that hotel room, choosing someone else, risking everything we'd built. The image burned through any remaining hesitation. "Goodbye, Sarah." I opened the door and stepped into the hallway. Behind me, I heard something crash, probably the lamp from the side table. Sarah's voice followed me, breaking apart into incoherent sobs. "I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. Marcus, the baby." I closed the door, stood there for a moment, my forehead pressed against the cool wood, tears finally streaming down my own face. Inside, Sarah was crying so hard I could hear her through the door. Part of me wanted to go back, to hold her, to try to fix what was broken. But some things, once shattered, can never be made whole again. I walked away from apartment 4B for the last time. Walked away from my wife, from the possibility of fatherhood, from the future I'd imagined. With each step down those stairs, I left pieces of my heart behind. I never looked back. I didn't know then that I was also walking away from my daughter. The divorce papers arrived 3 weeks later. I signed them sitting alone in my new studio apartment, a bottle of whiskey keeping me company. Sarah didn't contest anything. She wanted nothing from me, not money, not furniture, not explanations. It was as if she was trying to erase herself from my life as completely as possible. I let her. The first year was the hardest. Every pregnant woman I saw on the street was a reminder. Every baby's cry in a restaurant made my chest tighten. I wondered, late at night when the whiskey couldn't quite drown out my thoughts, whether Sarah had kept the baby. Whether it was a boy or a girl. Whether it had my eyes or some stranger's smile. But I never called. Never drove past our old apartment. Never searched for her on social media. I'd made my choice that night, and I forced myself to live with it. Work became my refuge. I threw myself into my career as a structural engineer with the intensity of a man trying to outrun his demons. 12-hour days became 14, then 16. Weekends disappeared into blueprints and stress calculations. My colleagues praised my dedication. My mother worried about my health. My friends slowly stopped inviting me to gatherings. By year 3, I'd earned 2 promotions and bought a small house in the suburbs. It had 3 bedrooms, one for me, one for an office, and one that stayed perpetually empty. I told myself it was for guests, but I never had any. The truth was, I couldn't bring myself to fill that room. It haunted me, that empty space, like a question I'd never answered. I dated occasionally, brief, superficial relationships that never went anywhere. How could they? I was a man divided, half present, half forever standing in that kitchen watching a pregnancy test tear in half. The women sensed it, that missing piece of me, and eventually they all left. "You're not really here," my last girlfriend, Jennifer, had said as she packed her overnight bag for the final time. "Even when you're right in front of me, you're somewhere else. With someone else." She wasn't wrong. Year 4 brought an unexpected promotion, project manager for the new downtown convention center. It should have been the highlight of my career. Instead, I found myself standing at the groundbreaking ceremony, thinking about how Sarah had always wanted to see me succeed. How she'd been my biggest cheerleader. Back when I'd been hers too, I hired a therapist. Dr. Chen was patient, professional, and persistently annoying in her ability to see through my deflections. "You're still carrying the weight of that night," she observed during our 10th session. "The betrayal, yes, but also the uncertainty. Not knowing about the child, it's an open wound that never healed." There probably wasn't a child, I argued. She was probably lying about the pregnancy too. Just another manipulation. "Do you really believe that?" I didn't answer. Because no, I didn't believe it. Sarah had many flaws, clearly, but she'd never been a liar. The affair had been a confession, not a discovery. Even in her worst moment, she'd chosen truth over deception. Except maybe about the baby. Year 5 came with my 33rd birthday. I celebrated alone with Chinese takeout and a documentary about bridge construction. My phone rang exactly 3 times, my mother, my best friend Dave, and a wrong number. I let them all go to voicemail. That night I dreamed about a little girl. She had my dark hair and my father's distinctive birthmark, a crescent moon shape on the left shoulder. In the dream she was calling for me, but I couldn't reach her. No matter how fast I ran, she stayed the same distance away, her small voice growing fainter. "Daddy? Daddy, where are you?" I woke up sweating, heart pounding, that voice echoing in my ears. By year 6, I'd convinced myself I'd moved on. My house was furnished. My career was thriving. I'd even started jogging in the mornings, trying to reclaim some semblance of health after years of neglect. I had a routine, a life that functioned with mechanical efficiency, but I was lying to myself. Late at night, I still wondered. Still calculated ages in my head. She'd be 6 now if she existed. Starting 1st grade. Learning to read. Losing baby teeth. I told myself it didn't matter. That chapter was closed. I'd turned the page and started a new story. One without Sarah, without betrayal, without unanswerable questions. Then, on a Saturday morning in October, someone knocked on my door. I wasn't expecting anyone. Saturday mornings were sacred. My time to drink coffee in peace, read the newspaper, and pretend I enjoyed the quiet solitude I'd built around myself. The knock came again, small and tentative, barely audible over the morning news playing on the TV. Probably a neighbor kid selling something for school, I thought, shuffling to the door in my worn joggers and faded college t-shirt. I grabbed my wallet from the entry table, prepared to buy whatever cookies or wrapping paper they were peddling. I opened the door. A little girl stood on my porch, maybe 6 years old, with dark curly hair pulled into 2 lopsided pigtails. She wore a purple jacket over a yellow dress with unicorns on it, and she clutched a wrinkled envelope in both hands like it was precious cargo. She looked up at me with eyes that made my heart stop. They were my eyes, the same unusual shade of hazel green, with the same gold flecks around the iris. It was like looking into a mirror that showed me my own childhood. "Are you Marcus Webb?" Her voice was small but clear. I couldn't speak. My mouth had gone completely dry. "Are you Marcus Webb?" she repeated, a little louder this time, a note of desperation creeping in. "The one who used to live at 42 Oak Street, apartment 4B? Yes, who are you?" But even as I asked, I knew. God help me, I knew. She held out the envelope. "My mama said to give you this. She made me memorize your address and made me promise to come here if anything happened to her." My hand shook as I took the envelope. It was addressed in handwriting I'd once known as well as my own. "Marcus, please read, please." What's your name? I asked, though I could barely hear my own voice over the roaring in my ears. Emma. Emma Rose Mitchell. She tilted her head, studying me with an intensity that was unsettling in someone so young. Are you my dad? The world lurched. I grabbed the doorframe for support. I don't. I looked down at the letter, then back at the girl, at Emma. Where's your mother? Emma's lower lip trembled. She's in the hospital. She's really, really sick. Mrs. Chen from next door brought me here in her car. She's waiting down the street to make sure you're nice. My legs felt weak. Come inside, please, it's cold. Emma hesitated, glancing back at a silver sedan parked at the curb. An elderly woman sat in the driver's seat, watching carefully. Emma waved, and the woman waved back but didn't leave. Mrs. Chen said I should wait to make sure you're really you. Emma explained. Mama showed me your picture. You look older than the picture. Yes, I probably do. My hands were still shaking. Should I call Mrs. Chen? Emma nodded seriously. She pulled a piece of paper from her jacket pocket. A phone number written in childish but careful numbers. I dialed it on my cell with trembling fingers. Hello? An older woman's voice, cautious. This is Marcus Webb. Emma is here. She says you drove her? Yes, Sarah asked me to. She made me promise. The woman's voice softened. That poor girl has been preparing for this for weeks. Sarah wanted everything perfect, even though she trailed off. Emma has her overnight bag in the car. If you're who Sarah says you are, if you're willing, the child needs someone. What's wrong with Sarah? Stage 4 pancreatic cancer. She has weeks, maybe days. She's been trying to arrange everything for Emma before. Mrs. Chen's voice broke. She's been a good neighbor. A good mother. This has been killing her. The disease, yes, but also this secret she's been carrying. The envelope felt like it weighed 1,000 pounds. Bring Emma's bag up, I heard myself say. Please. I ended the call and looked at Emma, who was still standing in the doorway watching me with those impossibly familiar eyes. You can come in, I said softly. You're safe here. Emma stepped inside carefully, looking around my house with open curiosity. Her gaze lingered on the photos on the wall, mostly landscapes and architecture, nothing personal. Nothing that revealed who I really was. You have a big house, she observed. Mama said you always wanted a big house, my throat constricted. Your mom said that? Emma nodded. She walked to the couch and sat down carefully, her feet dangling above the floor. Mama talks about you sometimes. When she thinks I'm asleep, she says you were the best man she ever knew. I had to sit down. The letter crinkled in my grip. Emma, I need to read this letter. Is that okay? Mama said you would. She said it would explain everything. Emma's voice was matter-of-fact, but her hands were clasped tightly in her lap. She said you might be angry. Are you angry? I don't know what I am, I answered honestly. Mrs. Chen arrived with a small purple suitcase covered in star stickers. I thanked her, and after giving Emma a long hug and me a warning look that clearly said you better take care of this child, she left. Then it was just Emma and me, and the letter that held 6 years of answers. With shaking hands, I opened it. Dear Marcus, if you're reading this, I'm either dead or close to it, and our daughter is standing in front of you. Our daughter, Emma Rose. She's 6 years old, brilliant, stubborn, and has your laugh. God, Marcus, she has your laugh. I don't expect forgiveness. I don't deserve it. But you deserve the truth, all of it, even if it comes 6 years too late. That night I confessed about Boston. I was 3 months pregnant, not 2. I lied about the timeline. There was no question about paternity. Emma was always yours. The affair happened after I found out I was pregnant, in a moment of complete panic and self-destruction. I was terrified of motherhood, terrified of failing you, terrified of everything. So I did the worst possible thing. I sabotaged us. When you walked out, I nearly told you the truth. I chased you to the door, the words on my tongue. But then I saw your face, the devastation, the betrayal, and I realized something. You deserved better than me. You deserved a partner you could trust. A life without my toxicity. I knew you'd stay if you knew about Emma. You're too good, too honorable. You'd have suffered through a broken marriage for the sake of a child. And I couldn't let that be your life. So I let you go. I tore up that test and let you believe I didn't know, didn't care. It was the cruelest kindness I've ever given anyone. I raised Emma alone. My mother helped before she passed 2 years ago. It's been hard, harder than I ever imagined, but Emma made it worth it. Every smile, every milestone, every moment I watched her grow into this incredible little person. I gave her my last name to protect you, to give you a clean break. I never asked for child support, never contacted you. I wanted you to have the freedom to move on. But 3 months ago, I started feeling sick. By the time I saw a doctor, the cancer had spread everywhere. Stage 4 pancreatic cancer. 6 months if I'm lucky, they said. I've had 4. Marcus, I know I have no right to ask anything of you. I destroyed your trust and stole 6 years of your daughter's life from you. But Emma needs someone. She needs her father. She's so smart, so funny, so full of life. She loves books and dinosaurs. She's terrified of thunderstorms, but brave enough to ride her bike without training wheels. She asks questions constantly and makes up elaborate stories about why the sky is blue or where clouds go at night. She has your birthmark, the crescent moon on her left shoulder, exactly like yours and your father's. When I first saw it in the hospital after she was born, I cried for an hour. It felt like you were there, like some part of you was claiming her even though you didn't know she existed. I've told Emma about you. Not everything, not about my betrayal or the divorce. I told her you were a good man who had to go away before she was born, but that you never stopped being her father. I showed her pictures. I told her stories about your kindness, your brilliant mind, your terrible jokes. I wanted her to know you, even if she never met you. There's a folder in Emma's suitcase with all the legal documents. I've already filed the paperwork naming you as her father, DNA test results included. I had one done last year just to have proof for her when she was older. My will leaves everything to Emma, with you as guardian. It's not much, a small life insurance policy, some savings. Enough to help. I'm sorry, Marcus. I'm sorry for the affair, sorry for the lies. Sorry for stealing these years from you and Emma. I'm sorry I was too broken to let you love me, too scared to let you be the father you would have been. But I'm not sorry for Emma. She's the best thing I ever did. The only truly good thing, please love her. Please give her the stability and security I couldn't provide. Please tell her stories about her grandfather, about your family, about where she comes from. Please forgive her for having me as a mother. And if you can someday, maybe forgive me too. All my love, what little it's worth. Sarah P.S. She loves strawberry pancakes on Saturdays and won't sleep without her stuffed elephant, Mr. Trunks. She's scared of the dark, so leave a nightlight on. She picks at labels when she's nervous, bottles, books, anything with a sticker. When she's overwhelmed, she needs space, not hovering. She's more like you than me in that way. Take care of our girl, Marcus. She's everything we should have been. I read the letter twice, then a third time. Tears blurred the words dripping onto the paper, smudging Sarah's careful handwriting. Our daughter Emma had been ours all along. I looked up to find Emma watching me, her small face grave with understanding far beyond her years. Mama said you'd cry, she said quietly. She cries a lot too when she thinks I can't see. I wiped my face roughly. Emma, I didn't know about you. I didn't know you existed. I know, Mama explained. She said she made a big mistake a long time ago and it kept you apart. She said mistakes sometimes hurt for a really long time. Emma's eyes filled with tears. Is she going to die? The question hung in the air between us, too enormous for its simplicity. I don't know, I said, because lying to her would be betraying Sarah's final request. She's very sick. The doctors say probably yes. Emma's voice was small but steady. She wanted to tell me no, but I heard her talking to Mrs. Chin. I'm not a baby. No, she wasn't. She was my daughter, and she was facing loss with more courage than I'd shown in 6 years of running from my past. I slid off the couch and knelt in front of Emma, eye level with her. Emma, I want you to know something. Your mom made mistakes, she'd be the first to tell you that. But giving birth to you, raising you, loving you, that wasn't a mistake. You're not a mistake. My voice broke. You're a gift I didn't know I'd been given. Emma studied my face carefully. Then slowly she shrugged off her purple jacket. Mama said to show you this, she said, turning around and pulling her dress off her left shoulder. There, on her pale skin, was the birthmark. The crescent moon identical to mine, identical to my father's. Undeniable proof written in genetics and fate. Something shattered inside me. The last wall I'd built to protect myself from the past. Oh my God, I whispered. You're mine. You're really mine. Emma turned back around. Are you my dad? She'd asked me that question when she arrived. I hadn't answered then. But now, looking at this brave, beautiful little girl with my eyes and my birthmark and my stubbornness written all over her face, there was only one answer. Yes, I said, my voice breaking on the word. Yes, Emma, I'm your dad. And then my daughter, leaned forward and hugged me, her small arms wrapping around my neck, and I broke down completely. 6 years of pain, anger, loss, and unanswered questions poured out of me in great shaking sobs while Emma held on tight. It's okay, Daddy, she whispered, the words so natural, so right. Mama said you'd be sad, but she also said you'd be brave. She said you're the bravest person she ever knew. I held my daughter and cried for everything lost and everything found, while morning light streamed through the windows of the house that had 3 bedrooms, one of which would finally be filled. The hospital room smelled of antiseptic and flowers, lilies, Sarah's favorite. She looked impossibly small in the bed, hollowed out by disease, her once vibrant features now sharp and pale. But when she saw Emma skip through the door, her face transformed with a joy so pure it hurt to witness. Baby girl, Sarah breathed. Mama. Emma climbed carefully onto the bed, mindful of the tubes and wires. I found him. I found my daddy. Sarah's eyes met mine over Emma's head. I stood in the doorway, unable to move, unable to breathe. This was the woman I'd loved, the woman who'd betrayed me, the woman who'd given me the greatest gift without me even knowing. Marcus, she whispered. Hey, Sarah. We stared at each other across 6 years of silence. So much to say, no way to say it all. Not here, not now, maybe not ever. Emma, sweetie, Sarah said softly. Can you go get some pudding from the cafeteria? The chocolate kind you like? Daddy can get it for you. Emma looked between us with those wise eyes. You want to talk to him alone, just for a few minutes, baby. Then you can come right back. A nurse appeared as if summoned. Maybe Sarah had arranged this too, orchestrated this final meeting as carefully as she'd orchestrated Emma's arrival at my door. The nurse smiled kindly and held out her hand to Emma. I know where they keep the really good pudding, she said conspiratorially, the kind they hide from the patients. Emma giggled but looked back at me uncertainly. You'll be here when I get back? I promise, I said. I'm not going anywhere. Those words meant more than either of us could express. Emma seemed to understand. She took the nurse's hand and skipped out, already chattering about whether chocolate or vanilla was superior. Then it was just us. You came, Sarah said. I wasn't sure you would. Did you really think I wouldn't? After reading that letter? After meeting Emma? I moved closer to the bed, my emotions a tangle I couldn't begin to unravel. Sarah, she's incredible. Tears spilled down Sarah's cheeks. She's the best of both of us. Mostly you, thank God. Your curiosity, your stubborn need to understand everything, your quiet strength. She paused, swallowing hard. I'm so sorry, Marcus. For all of it. For the affair. For lying. For stealing your daughter's first 6 years from you. I pulled a chair close to the bed, sitting down heavily. I'm angry, I admitted. Furious, actually. I missed so much, her first steps, her first words, her first day of school. I missed all of it because you decided I couldn't handle the truth. You're right to be angry, but I also understand why. The words surprised me, but they were true. I was devastated that night, destroyed. If you'd told me about Emma, I would have stayed and we both would have been miserable. She would have grown up in a house filled with resentment and broken trust. Maybe you did the right thing for the wrong reasons. Sarah's laugh was bitter and wet. Don't absolve me. I don't deserve it. I was a coward. I was scared of motherhood, scared of being a wife, scared of my own happiness. So I sabotaged everything and then I was too proud to fix it. I told myself I was being noble, letting you go. But really I was just running from my mistakes. We both ran, I said quietly. I never tried to find you. Never asked about the baby. I just walked away and tried to pretend none of it happened. I'm not innocent in this either. You didn't know. I could have. I chose not to. I reached out, then hesitated. Sarah saw and slowly extended her hand. I took it carefully, mindful of the IV. Her skin was paper thin and cold. We both made choices. Bad ones, but Emma, she's the good that came from all the bad. She asks about you constantly, Sarah whispered. What you're like. Whether she looks like you, if you like dinosaurs and space like she does. I've been answering her questions for 6 years with stories and photos, trying to make you real for her. But it was torture, Marcus. Every milestone, every accomplishment, every time she said something brilliant or funny or kind, I wanted to call you. I wanted you to see her, to know her. The silence nearly killed me. Why didn't you? Reach out, I mean. Before now. Pride. Fear. Stubbornness. All the usual reasons people do stupid things. She coughed, a rattling sound that spoke of failing lungs, and I kept telling myself you'd moved on, that you had a new life, maybe a new family. I didn't want to complicate that. But when I got the diagnosis, her voice broke. I couldn't let pride kill Emma's chance at having a father. She deserves better than my mistakes. I squeezed her hand gently. I haven't moved on. Not really. I dated, I worked, I bought a house. But I never let anyone in. Part of me was still standing in that kitchen, watching you tear up that test. I dream about that night sometimes. Sarah said, I dream about stopping you at the door, telling you the truth, fixing everything before it's too late. Then I wake up here and it is too late. For us anyway. But not for Emma and you. That's what matters now. We sat in silence for a moment, holding hands across years of pain and regret. I read your letter, every word, multiple times. I reached into my jacket and pulled out the now wrinkled pages. The part about Emma being terrified of thunderstorms but riding her bike without training wheels. That killed me. These tiny details of her life that I missed. There will be new details, Sarah said urgently, gripping my hand tighter. New milestones. Middle school and high school. First crushes and driving lessons. College and careers. You'll be there for all of it, Marcus. You'll get to watch her become whoever she's meant to be. I want that more than anything. There's a notebook in her suitcase. Purple with unicorns on it. She picked it out. Sarah's breathing was labored now, each word an effort. I've been writing in it for 3 months. Everything I want her to know. Everything I wish I could tell her but won't be able to. Her medical history, her favorite foods, the names of her stuffed animals and why she named them that. Stories about my mother, about her heritage. And stories about us, the good parts, before I ruined everything. Sarah, there are videos too. On a hard drive. Me reading her favorite books, singing her the lullabies I sang when she was a baby, just talking to her. So she won't forget my voice. Tears streamed freely now. I know it's selfish wanting to be remembered. But she's so young and memories fade, and I need her to know that I loved her. That every day with her was a gift, even when I was dying. My own tears fell silently. She'll know. I'll make sure she knows. And we'll watch those videos together. I want to hear those stories too. I want to know everything about these 6 years I missed. Emma burst back into the room. Chocolate pudding smeared at the corner of her mouth, the nurse trailing behind apologetically. Sorry, the nurse mouthed. She was very determined. Emma climbed back onto the bed, carefully settling against Sarah's side. The pudding was gross, but I ate it anyway because you said I should try new things even if they look weird. Sarah laughed, the sound weak but genuine. That's my girl. Our girl. I corrected softly. Emma looked at me, then at her mother, then back at me. Are we going to be a family now? Sarah and I exchanged glances. Pain and hope and goodbye all mixed together. Yes, Sarah said firmly. You and Daddy are going to be a family. He's going to take such good care of you, baby girl. Better care than I ever could. That's not true, I said. You raised an amazing daughter, Sarah. She's kind and brave and brilliant. That's all you. It's both of us, Emma announced with 6-year-old certainty. Mom always said I got my brain from you and my heart from her. So I'm both of you mixed together. Out of the mouths of babes. We spent the next hour together. The 3 of us. Sarah told stories about Emma's early years while Emma added commentary and corrections. I learned about the time Emma tried to teach herself to fly by jumping off the couch with homemade wings. I only needed 3 stitches. About her obsession with dinosaurs that led to her memorizing the names of 50 different species. About the elaborate imaginary world she'd created, complete with maps and languages and political systems. I told Emma about her grandfather, the engineer who'd inspired my career. About the birthmark we all shared. Passed down through 3 generations now. About the science fair project I'd won in 3rd grade building a bridge out of popsicle sticks. Did it hold weight? Emma asked, fascinated. 20 pounds before it collapsed. I bet I could build one that holds 30. I bet you could too. Sarah watched us connect, watched me become a father in real time, and I could see the relief in her eyes. She'd carried this burden alone for so long. The secret, the guilt, the fear of what would happen to Emma after she was gone. Now finally she could let go. As evening approached, Sarah's energy faded. The nurse came back, gentle but firm. She needs rest now. Emma kissed her mother's cheek. I love you, Mama. I love you more than all the stars in the sky, baby girl. Don't ever forget that. I stood, still holding Emma's hand. Sarah, take care of her, Marcus. Love her enough for both of us, I will. I promise, Sarah smiled, tired, sad, but peaceful. I know you will. You're a good man. You always were. She paused, gathering strength for one last thing. Thank you for coming. Thank you for giving me this, seeing you two together, knowing she'll be okay. It's more than I deserved. It's what Emma deserved, I said. We all deserved better than what happened. But we'll make the future better. The future, Sarah echoed, her eyes drifting closed. That's all I wanted for her. A future, a father, a life full of possibilities. We left her sleeping, Emma's small hand in mine, Mr. Trunks the elephant tucked under her other arm. In the parking lot, Emma looked up at me. Is Mama going to die soon? Probably, I said, because she'd asked for honesty and I'd give her that always. And then I'll live with you? In your big house? Yes, in your big house. You'll have your own room. We'll decorate it however you want. Dinosaurs, space, unicorns, whatever makes you happy. Emma considered this. Can I bring all my stuffed animals? Every single one. Even Mr. Trunks? Especially Mr. Trunks, she nodded, satisfied. Then, still holding my hand, will you love me like Mama does? My heart cracked open. I knelt down so we were eye level. Emma, I already love you. From the moment I saw you on my porch, I loved you. And every moment after that, I've loved you more. You're my daughter, my family, my second chance at getting life right. So yes, I will love you like Mama does, and I will love you like a father does, and I will love you in every way a person can love another person for the rest of my life. Emma threw her arms around my neck, and I held her close, this miracle child. This daughter I'd never known existed until 2 days ago but couldn't imagine living without now. Can I call you Daddy? She whispered against my shoulder. I'd like that very much. Okay. Daddy. That word. That perfect, beautiful word. Healed something in me I didn't know was broken. We drove home together, Emma chattering about her stuffed animal collection and whether I liked waffles better than pancakes. Important information, apparently. I listened to every word, memorizing the cadence of her voice, learning the rhythm of being her father. Sarah passed away 4 days later, with Emma and me holding her hands. We were there when her breathing slowed, when her grip loosened, when the machines went quiet. Emma cried silently, her tears soaking into my shirt as I held her. I cried too, for the woman Sarah could have been, for the years we all lost, for the love that tragedy had almost erased, but mostly, I held my daughter and promised silently to Sarah that I would honor her sacrifice. I would love Emma fiercely. I would tell her stories about her mother, the good ones, the true ones. I would make sure she knew she came from love, even if that love was complicated and broken and imperfect. The adoption was finalized 6 months later. Just a formality. The DNA test Sarah had included proved paternity beyond doubt. But I wanted it official. Wanted Emma to carry my name alongside Sarah's. Emma Rose Webb Mitchell, a bridge between past and future. That night, after the courthouse and the celebratory dinner at Emma's favorite pizza place, we sat in her room, the once empty bedroom now filled with books and toys and maps of imaginary worlds. Daddy? Emma looked up from the drawing she was working on. Yeah, Bug. I'm glad Mama sent me to find you. I pulled her into my lap. This beautiful girl who'd knocked on my door and changed everything. Me too. Emma, me too. She snuggled against my chest, her thumb finding its way to her mouth, a habit she only indulged when she was tired or needed comfort. Do you think Mama knows? That we're okay? I thought about Sarah's letter, about the video she'd left, about the notebook filled with a mother's love and hope and fear, about her final gift bringing us together before it was too late. Yeah, Bug. I think she knows. I think she's been watching us become a family, and I think she's happy. Good, Emma said sleepily. Because I'm happy too. I held my daughter as she drifted off to sleep, her breath evening out, her small body relaxing completely in the trust that I would keep her safe. In the morning, we'd make strawberry pancakes. We'd work on her bridge project. She was determined to beat my childhood record. We'd read together and play together and build the life that Sarah had entrusted to me. But for now, I just held her and marveled at how forgiveness could arrive in the smallest form. How love could survive betrayal and silence and 6 years of separation. How a knock on the door could bring back everything I'd thought I'd lost. Emma stirred slightly, mumbling in her sleep. "Love you, Daddy." "Love you too, Bug," I whispered back. Forever. Outside, the stars were coming out. All those stars Sarah had told Emma about, the ones that couldn't measure a mother's love. But maybe they could witness a father's promise. To love this child with everything I had. To honor the woman who'd made the hardest choice to give Emma the best chance. To build a future worthy of the sacrifice. In the end, Sarah had been right about one thing. Emma was the best of both of us. And now, finally, she had both of us too. Sarah's love preserved in memories and videos and handwritten notes, and my love being written fresh every day in pancakes and bedtime stories and shoelaces tied and homework checked, and a million tiny moments that add up to a life. Our life, our family, our second chance. I looked at the crescent moon birthmark on Emma's shoulder, visible now as her pajama sleeve had slipped down, and thought about legacy, about what we pass on to our children. DNA, yes, physical traits and genetic markers, but also love, sacrifice, the courage to try again after failing. Sarah had given Emma life. I would give her a future. Together, despite everything, we'd given her love, and sometimes love is enough, sometimes it's everything.